Hello and welcome as we advance our discussion on process of research that we talked about in last lecture. Now, last time when we stopped, we had talked about this figure. Now, this is a very important figure when we talk of process of research, because this figure in itself encompasses our complete process of research. Right from defining the research problem to interpretation and reporting. So, we start our process with, when I state a problem that this is my problem, then I go out and collect data, then I analyze it, then I come to a conclusion, and when I come to that conclusion, I finally submit my conclusion in form of a report, that this was the problem that I went out to search for, the solution for which I went out to search for, and this is my report. These are my findings. So, this is my complete research process, that I start with the problem, I collect data, I analyze it, I reach a conclusion, I list down my findings, and I get them published in a research paper or in form of a thesis or in form of a research report. This is the complete process. And if we have a look at this figure, if we have a look at this block diagram, we see that this complete block diagram encompasses all those steps. So, this is our research process. Now, if we talk what we talked about in last time, or rather what is the complete process, it starts with formulating the research problem, continues on to extensive literature survey. This we talked in last lecture, that these are the steps in our process of research, how we'll go about our research. Formulating the research problem, extensive literature survey, developing the hypothesis, preparing the research design, determining sample design, collecting the data, execution of the project, analysis of data, hypothesis testing, generalization and interpretation, and preparation of the report or presentation of the results. Now, when you have completed your research, you could either get it published in a newspaper, in a magazine, better you get it published in a research journal, or you could publish your research findings in form of a report, research thesis. So, these are broadly the steps. Of these steps, we talked in detail about the first step. What is our first step? Our first step is formulating the research problem. In last lecture, we talked about formulating the research problem. How do we formulate a research problem? What are the issues that we need to take care of? What are the characteristics of a good research problem? What all should be covered in a good definition of research problem? These are the things that we talked about in last lecture. Now, today we will talk about what are the steps in selecting a research problem. So, last time we talked about characteristics, what it should have, what it should not have. Now, today we are talking of steps, how my research problem will be formulated. What should be in the research problem, we talked in last lecture. Today we will talk about steps in selecting a research problem. Now, what are the various steps in selecting a research problem? Whenever you perform any activity, you go out and play a game, you make a song, you make a music, you write a thesis, you prepare an assignment, you select a dress, you buy a dress, you go for a tour, you go for a trip, you are out to buy a new mobile. Anything that you do, there is a process. There are certain steps that we should follow. If those steps are followed properly, that thing will be done properly. If you wish to go out for a tour, if you wish to go out for a trip, then what should be the steps? First, you should plan. Where should I go? Before where should I go, you should plan. When do you have time? If you have time in summers, if you have time in autumn, if you have time in extreme winters, when do you have time to go out for a trip, a picnic? So, first identify your time. These are the steps. If without identifying the time you decide that I will be going to such and such place, I will be visiting Rajasthan this year, and you come to Rajasthan in April, May and June, That will be a disaster. Why this disaster happened? Because I did not plan. I did not follow the steps of planning a tour. I just went out, bought the tickets. No. If I had followed the proper steps, my first step would have been, when do I have time? Next step would have been, at this particular time, what are the places that I could visit in India? Or if you are going outside India, then you could have found out what are the good places to visit in April, May and June. What are the good places to visit in December, January? So now, because I know that this is the time when I am free, this is the time when I can go for a trip, when I can go for a picnic, when I can go for an excursion. Now identify those places. Once you have identified certain places, let's say 1, 2 or 3 places, now look for availability of reservations. Look for availability of reservations in hotels. Look for reservation in trains or planes, the mode of transportation that you will be following. So, the steps would be identify the time, location, availability of reservations. Now, once you have those reservations, then you can plan on what clothes will you carry, what will be the exact times to leave, will you leave someone to take care of your home, will you be putting on locks, all those security measures that you will be taking when you are away from your home. So, these are the steps for a successful trip, for planning a successful trip, for executing a successful trip. Similarly, in research problem also, we have certain steps. If we follow those steps properly, we will be designing our research problem, we will be defining our research problem very properly, very to the point. What are those steps? Statement of the problem in a general way. To start with, you should give a very general statement of your research problem. Don't try to be very precise in first go. A general statement of problem would be, I need to buy a mobile. If we take a personal problem, I need to buy a mobile. This is a general form of a problem. If you are a business, you might wish to, let's say, find out why are my sales declining. So, this is general definition. We'll take these two examples. One would be related to business, because ultimately we are studying for a business management course. Ultimately, we are studying to manage a business. So, one would be a problem related to business, the other one will be a problem related to my personal issues, so that I can understand how this process flows for me in decision making, and I could even map it onto the decision making process or steps in the selecting of a research problem, steps in selecting of a research problem for business problem. So, I will be having these two examples. One is I wish to buy a mobile, second one is my sales are declining. This is a problem. Statement of the problem in a very general, broad way. Understanding the nature of the problem. Okay, I need to buy a phone. Why do I need to buy a phone? There can be n number of reasons why I wish to buy a phone. Those reasons could be, my previous phone is getting older, it is outdated, it doesn't have the latest technology, its camera is not performing well, its battery is not doing well, its screen size is too small to study online. These days we are having all our classes online. So, its screen size is too small. Now, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to understand the nature of the problem. Yes, there is a problem that I need a new mobile. What is the nature? Where do you come to this conclusion that buying a new mobile is your problem? Is battery an issue? Is screen size an issue? Is the software being outdated an issue? I am trying to understand the environment. What environment built this problem? What were the reasons behind this problem? So, I am trying to understand the nature of the problem. How can this problem be solved? If it is a battery problem, I can get the battery replaced. If it is a camera problem, maybe I could get it serviced. If it is a software problem, maybe I could reflash my phone. If it is a screen size problem, maybe I could look for other alternatives. I could look for a laptop, I could look for a tablet, I could look for a desktop. So, now I am trying to understand the environment, the nature of the problem. Why did this problem come? In our business example, what was our problem? Our problem was, why are my sales going down? Let us understand the nature of the problem. Sales going down, which means I am not being able to sell my product. Why is my product not selling? Is it a global phenomena? Is no one else's product also selling? Or is it just with me that my product is not selling? Why is my product not selling? What could be the possible causes for my product not selling? What could be the environment which has brought me to this point that my product is not selling? Could it be salesmen? Could it be the margins that I give to my retailers? What is the reason? Is this environment? These are corona times. Nobody else's product is also selling, so my product is not selling. Try to understand the environment, the nature of the problem. Then we'll come down to narrow it down to my specific solutions. First problem was something triggered me that I need a new mobile. The kid comes to his parents and says, I need a new mobile. So that is a problem. Now we are trying to understand, why do you need a new mobile? The owner, the CEO comes to the marketing manager, the production manager, and says, our sales are going down. In previous quarter, our sales dipped by 10%, 12%, 15%, 18%. Yes, this is a problem that the child saw. Yes, this is a problem that the CEO or the owner of the business saw. But now let me analyze what the problem is, what are the causes of this problem, so that I can better understand the problem, so that I can better understand the solutions to the problem, so that I can better understand what to look for. You need a new mobile is not a problem. Why do you need a new mobile if you already have a mobile? So it is not a problem. You feel like you need a mobile. We'll have to check out. Do you actually need a new mobile or not? So the idea is, identify your problem, define it vaguely, define it in some way, and then we'll explore it. What are the surroundings? What is the nature? What caused this problem? Understanding the nature. Then surveying the available literature. Now, once I have identified my problem, once I have identified the nature of the problem, I'll start surveying the literature surrounding it. For example, after talking to you, I came to know that majority of your classes are going online. So that is a problem. You need an alternative. You need a better way to be able to understand those classes. In mobiles, the screen size is very small, so whatever is written may not be so much clear. Now I am trying to identify the core problem, and I'll try to find out various possible options. What could be those possible options? How could I explore those possible options? I could ask to my colleagues, to other students, to teachers, what is the best way to attend online classes? I could type it in Google. There might have been some researches, there might have been some articles that will show up. You type any kind of problem in Google and it will be filled with articles. It will be filled with YouTube solutions. What is the best way to take online classes? You type it in Google and you will have 10,000 solutions. You could read them, you could see them, you can hear them. This is surveying the available literature. Surrounding your problem, surrounding the nature of your problem, go out and survey the available literature. Probably somebody else might have worked on it. Why do you wish to reinvent the wheel? Why do you wish to invest your 1 month, 15 days, 1 week into researching what are the best ways of online studies? Go out and talk to your teachers. Go out and search on YouTube. There might be, go out and search on Google. There might be researches which might be comparing, which might be telling me 10 best possible solutions, which might be giving me top 3 solutions to online classes. So the idea is, survey the available literature. People might have found the solution. Why do you wish to reinvent the wheel? Maybe it has already been invented. So the idea is, I have a problem, I try to understand the problem, I try to study the nature of the problem, and then I try to survey the available literature. Surveying the available literature is talking to people who know it, talking to people who have researched on it. Probably your college, your teachers, your university, your governing bodies, your AICTs, UGCs, they might have thought over it. What will be the best possible way to deliver our lectures, to deliver our classes, to deliver the subject content? They might have thought over it, survey it. Yes, there is a possibility that I might not like their solutions. There is a possibility that their solutions might not be feasible to me. That is a possibility. Then in that case, I'll go out and research. But there is a high likelihood that someone might have gone through this problem and solved this problem. So that is the idea behind surveying the available literature. Why do we survey the available literature? So that if someone else has done this research, I could get my details from there itself. I do not need to go through the complete process of defining the problem, collecting the data, surveying it, collecting the data, analyzing it, classifying it, reaching the conclusions, testing it. Why test when someone else has already tested it? So that is the idea behind surveying the available literature. Your sales are going down, go out and survey the available literature. What are the possible causes of sales going down? What are the possible causes of slow sales in 2020? What are the possible causes of slow sales or low sales volume in March 2020? What are the possible reasons of low sales in first quarter of 2021, financial year 2020-2021? Go out, survey. People might have given reasons that it is not a phenomena limited to you. It is a global phenomena. It is a corona time. It is a COVID-19 attack. Everybody's sales are going down. So if this kind of research is available, I can go through, okay, so majority of the nations, majority of the world is right down under lockdown. Majority of the products are not selling. Only food products are selling by and large. Okay, so I come to know that because I am selling two-wheelers, because I am selling automobiles, people are right now not buying those things for two major reasons. Maybe they do not have the money to pay right now. They do not want to risk a loan at this time. Or maybe they are not commuting so much, so they do not need this investment right now. As it is, they are under lockdown. So the idea is you go out and survey the available literature. There is a high likelihood that you might get a solution to your problem. And if you do not get a solution to your problem, there is a high likelihood that you might be able to understand your problem better. There might be aspects of your problem that you are not clear about, but now you get some idea. My sales are going down, my sales are going down, my sales are going down. But now you know that not only your sales are going down, it is a global phenomena. You need a mobile, you need a mobile, you need a mobile. Now you come to know that you exactly do not need a mobile, you need a larger screen size. That larger screen size could come in a tablet, that could come in a laptop or a desktop. So, these are the steps. Statement of the problem in a general way, understanding the nature of the problem, environment of the problem, surroundings of the problem, surveying the available literature, developing the ideas through discussions, talk to people, talk to teachers, talk to your neighbors, talk to your uncles, talk to your cousins, talk to your big brother who is maybe living in some other city, maybe in some metro. What are his colleges doing? What are colleges in metros doing? What are other people in his neighborhood doing? Talk to other people from where you could get your inputs. Talk to industry people. In second example that we are taking for low sales, talk to the retailers, talk to the distributors. Why is my product not selling? Probably they might tell you that it is too costly, there are too many breakages, there are too many complaints, or they might tell you that the shop is shut down for 40 days, 50 days. So the idea is developing the ideas through discussions. Talk to people, you might get some good ideas, you might get a new perspective into problem, you might get a new perspective into how to find solutions. So these are the steps. Survey the available literature, develop the ideas through discussions. rephrase the research problem into a working proposition. You started with the problem, you searched around the problem, you studied the nature of the problem, you surveyed the literature available, you talked to people, and now you understand, no, new mobile was not my problem. Online education, how to attend online classes. This was the core problem that you wanted to address, and you thought that new mobile would serve the purpose. If battery is an issue, new mobile is not a solution. Get battery replaced. If software is an issue, get software reflashed. If camera is an issue, get it repaired. If online classes are an issue, mobile is not a solution. Maybe a larger screen size is a solution. Maybe some other alternative is a solution, I am not sure. But now I understand. So I'll rephrase my problem. In first case where you said mobile is your problem, I'll rephrase the problem that I wish to attend online classes more efficiently. I want my online studies to be more efficient and effective. I want to be able to learn more effectively from my online classes. Now we'll search for methods. Now probably we might go for a Wi-Fi connection. Now probably I might go for a FTTH connection instead of our simple mobile connection, which gives me 1.5 GB, 2 GB, 2.5 GB. Because all classes are online, then workshops are going on, then you are watching lecture videos, then you are downloading software or e-content. Maybe that mobile speed is not sufficient. Maybe that mobile speed is not giving you high speed traffic, high speed internet. For example, if you watch this very same video through, let's say, a mobile connection, probably you might get only 480p maximum resolution. In auto mode, it might give you 360p. But as soon as you switch to Wi-Fi connection, FTTH connection, it gives you 720p. So in 480p, you were not able to read what is written. But at 720p, the clarity increases and you are able to read what is written. So when I was looking for a new mobile because I was not able to attend classes, because I was not able to read what is written, now I come to know that online classes are an issue. I look for all the things that surround online classes. It could be a fast internet connection, it could be a large mobile size or large screen size. That is the idea. You started with a demand for mobile, now you have come down to a demand for better attendance, better learning from online classes. Problem has completely changed. Why are my sales going down? When you looked out, when you came to know, when you talked to people, when you heard the news, when you read the publications, you came to know that it is a global phenomenon. So sales right now are not your problem because nobody is selling. Right now your problem is to keep your workforce intact. When nothing is selling, you need to pay your workforce. You need to plan for that day when the life returns to normal. If you fire complete workforce that nothing is selling, I do not need to produce, nobody is buying, there is a lockdown, you all should go to your home, then the day the market opens, the day country goes through unlockdowns, which we are seeing right now, unlockdown 4. The day the country goes through unlocking process, where will your workforce be? What you did? Your problem was, I am not having sales. I am not having sales, I am not having profits. I am not having profits, I cannot pay you salary. I cannot pay you salary, please leave. So your complete perspective was, no sales, no profit, no salaries, please go. But now that I understand that it is a global phenomena, we are fighting a war against Corona. Now you understand that it is not going to last forever. Now what you will do is, you will understand the situation, you will talk to your workforce that okay, we are not able to sell these days. right now we do not need to produce more because we already have godowns filled with our inventory. So you can take a break. If there are people living in your quarters, let them live in your quarters. Don't ask them for rent. Keep them, talk to them, give them half salary and don't charge them rent. It will give them comfort, so that the day unlock happens, you will have your workforce more motivated. Now there is a complete shift in my problem. I was worried that I am not selling, but now I understand that my real problem is keeping my workforce intact, keeping motivation of my workforce at highest level when the unlockdown happens. If I fire my workforce when the process starts, how will I get them back? Even if they come back, will they be motivated to work with me? They'll be thinking that this was the man who fired me, and today he is asking me to come back. So my complete focus shifts. My focus shifts to the situation that I need to manage the present circumstances. I need to take care of my workforce. Now this is my problem. How to solve this problem? We'll liquidate our fixed deposits. We'll ask our debtors to make payments so that we could make arrangement for food, make arrangement for shelter for my workforce. So this is the idea. That you started with a completely different problem. After an analysis, after thinking over it properly, after literature survey, I come to know that, okay, this problem is a little bit different. So steps in selecting a research problem are these: statement of problem in general way, understanding the nature of the problem, surveying the available literature, developing the ideas through discussions, and rephrasing the research problem into a working proposition. Then care to be taken in defining the problem. Okay, I do understand the nature of the problem. I do understand what are the core areas that I need to work for, that I need to look for. But now care need to be taken in defining the problem. Technical terms and words or phrases with special meanings used in the statement of the problem should be clearly defined. Marketing. Designing a marketing strategy. A successful marketing strategy. Reasons for failure of marketing strategy. Now when you say marketing, consumer behavior, study consumer behavior. Now when you use words like marketing, when you use words like consumer behavior, the scope gets very wide. What is marketing? Marketing starts with communication of an idea, communication of a product to after sales service. This is a complete business cycle, from communicating the idea to providing after sales service. Everything has happened between this. You had some idea, you designed that product, you marketed it, you advertised that product, you promoted that product, you arranged logistics for that product, you made it sure that your distributors carry that product, you sold that product, now you are serving the after sales. So this is a complete business cycle. So what happens is, avoid making use of these kind of technical terms or terms which have a huge scope, which could lead in 10 different directions, which could lead my research in 10 different directions. So preferably you should try avoiding these kind of words, and if at all you are making use of these words, clearly specify the scope. Okay, I am talking of marketing, but for now I will be concentrating on effect of advertising. I am talking on marketing, but for now I will be focusing on commissions paid to sales executives. Be precise. Technical terms and words or phrases with special meanings used in the statement of the problem should be clearly defined. Try avoiding them. If you are making use of them, they should be clearly defined. Basic assumptions, if any, relating to the research problem should be clearly stated. If at all there are any assumptions, they should be clearly stated. I will be comparing marketing strategies of banks. Now clearly define the scope of this research. If there are any assumptions, which banks What do you consider to be a bank? Nationalized banks, private banks, payment banks. So you should be very precise. If at all there are assumptions that these are the customer, I'll be considering customers only who are walking into the bank and opening an account. Others will not be treated as customers. I'll be treating genuine leads as only people who came and asked for opening an account, asked about details for opening an account. Others are not genuine leads for me. So tell me what are genuine leads for you. Whom do you consider a lead? Whom do you consider a potential client? If you are making assumptions, you need to be specific that anybody who walks into my bank and asks about opening a bank account, he is the only potential client. Fine. So if at all there are any basic assumptions in your research, do tell them. Then a straightforward statement of value of investigation should be provided. Whatever you are doing should be of value. Research requires resources, research requires money, research requires time, it requires manpower, it requires computing power. So you should clearly mention the value of your investigation. For example, in previous two examples that we have been exploring, if I say that I'm looking for a better alternative for online studies. Okay, it's good. But what are the important aspects? What do you gain from this? How is it of value to you? That we need to tell. How do we tell that? Okay, I'm looking for better ways to study online. How is it of value? I'll be able to understand concepts better. In all likelihood, this complete year, this complete semester will be online. So I do not wish to spoil my knowledge of these subjects. I wish to be updated in these subjects also. So I need good online study platform. So this is telling the value of your research. This is telling the value of your problem. In second case, where I realized that why am I looking for alternatives? To preserve my workforce. Remember the previous example? I started with why sales are not happening. Then I came to know that nobody is selling these days because of lockdowns. And my focus shifted into preserving my workforce. How will they feed themselves? How can I arrange for their food and shelter during 40, 50, 60 days of lockdown? So the focus shifted. And how is it of value to, how is this effort or research of value to me, to anybody else? This is of value because it will keep the workforce motivated. It is of value to my business, as if the workforce is motivated, they'll come back and do very well. They'll not be demotivated, because a demotivated workforce will create waste. A demotivated workforce will bring your quality down. But because I'll take care of them in hard times, tough times, they'll come back, they'll be motivated and they'll do magnificent work. This is the value of the effort that I'll put in that research. The money that I'll put. I'll hire 2, 5, 10 researchers who will gather online data regarding all these problems. And then they'll give me a conclusion. Now, that time, that money that I'm investing, it should be of value. It is of value to me because my business will excel whenever things open up. It is of value to my workers because they need food, they need shelter. So this is the value. You not losing on your knowledge of second year, second semester, third semester due to lockdowns, due to online studies. This is the value. This is why you want good mechanism of online studies. This is the value. Fine. A straightforward statement of value. Why do you wish to invest time and money in this research? That is a clear, straightforward statement of value. Then, suitability of the time period and the sources of data available must also be considered by the researcher in defining the problem. Suitability of time period and sources of data available. Right now, if we take our second example, suitability of time period. This is the time when I need to perform this research. If someone comes out and says that right now we have lockdowns, we'll perform this research 6 months hence. Does that serve the purpose? You want online studies, your classes are going online for next 6 months. And if someone comes down and says that I'll perform a research 6 months hence when things open up, that research will not be of any use to you. If you perform this research of how to take care of your business, how to nurture your business, how to take care of your workers, and someone comes and tells that I'll perform this research 6 months hence, that research will be of no use to you. This research is useful right now. Suitability of the time period. Right now we need to perform this research. Yes, there are lockdowns in any which way possible. In any which way possible, through phones, through SMS, through WhatsApp, through online Google Forms, whatever way. I need to perform this research right now. Time. Suitability of this time. Suitability of any particular time that you are picking up. So, suitability of time and sources of data available. Of course, what are the sources of data available right now? I am restricted to online sources. In better times, I could have gone out and talked to people walking on the road. But right now, I am restricted to online resources. So, what will be the sources of my data? They must also be considered by the researcher in defining the problem. Can I approach this problem through online data? Right? What kind of tire do you prefer in your vehicle? These tubeless ones that we have these days, or the conventional ones with tire and tube? Which tire do you prefer? A tubeless one or a tire with tube? Without tube or with tube? So, is it a good idea to perform this kind of research online? Isn't it better that I perform this kind of research at a tire shop, at a puncture shop, at a vehicle shop? Would it be suitable to conduct this kind of research right now in lockdowns? If you have this kind of issue, if you wish to perform this kind of research, if this is your topic, then wait for some time, let things ease out, let people come on the road, let people come in the market, and then go out and talk to them. This is not a topic that will be done justice online. This is a topic that will be served justice if this is done on tire shops, on car shops, on puncture shops. So, time and data available. In previous case, this is the time. Online classes, workforce, business, this is the time. Data, whatever online data is possible. But in case of which tire do you prefer, tubeless or the one with tube? This is not the best time. Suitability of time, data available. So, care should be taken while defining these kind of problems. Then, scope of investigation or the limits within which the problem is to be studied. Scope should always be defined, because if I do not define the scope, it could scatter itself all over the world. By defining the scope, I am restricting myself that I will be talking to only this age group, I will be talking only within these geographical limits, I will be talking within this particular city, I will be talking to people only of 4 metros, I will be talking to people only of next 4 mini metros. So, define the scope. I will be talking to people only in next 3 months. Scope is not necessarily in geographical terms, scope in all terms. How much money I can spend, how much time I will give. Data will be collected over next 3 months. Data was collected from 1st April to 30th June, first quarter of 2020. So, the scope of the investigation, or if there were any limits, they should also be told. For example, for my present research, I should list down it as a limitation that no personal contact was done. No interviews could be conducted personally. All interviews were conducted online. All data was collected online. So, I am not sure what was going on in the mind of that respondent. In personal interaction, you can very well tell what is going on in the mind of the respondent. But everything was collected online, so that is a limitation. So, you should list down the scope and limitations of the within which the problem is to be studied, and must be mentioned explicitly in defining the research problem. Whenever you are defining the research problem, you should tell that when I say marketing, this is what I mean. When I say in Rajasthan, which particular area of Rajasthan I mean North Rajasthan, urban or rural. Be very precise. Tell me scope, tell me limitations. These things should be taken care of in defining the research problem. So this was it for our today's lecture. Next time when we meet, we'll move on to research hypothesis. Fine. So thanks for watching. Bye bye. Take care.